DNA technology meant that in 2004, police were able to recover his DNA from evidence gathered from Rachel's body 12 years earlier.
We compared those components with a list of profiles from the top 40 suspects. And in going through, we eliminated 39 of them, including Colin Stagg, but the one person that they all matched was Robert Nickell.
Roy Green and his team were then asked to examine a red toolbox belonging to Napper.
We remembered that we'd found some red paint in the hair of Alex Hanscom, the little boy. And so we thought, well, we better compare these. And when we compared them, we found that the paint in Alex Hanscom's hair matched the paint of the toolbox.
The police now knew Robert Napper was the killer.
It was too much to really take in. There's now 14 years down the line, and so many of those years continually being herded along one corridor, waiting in limbo, as you say, but waiting for the phone call for when this is finally confirmed and finally put to rest, to be suddenly thrown 180 degrees the other way.
After 16 years in limbo, Andre Hanscom finally got to court to see the man who killed his beloved Rachel admit his guilt.
Alex and I have had to share our home with a monster. We've had to come to terms, and that monster's lost power over the years. But everything to do with his trauma, everything to do with my upset, everything to do with our relationship, everything to do with our families, everything to do with where we found ourselves, was as a direct result of an extremely powerful entity that had wreaked havoc in our lives. And it wasn't the physical manifestation, I suppose, that I expected to go together with all that we've been through.
Napper pleaded guilty to manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. He was ordered to be detained indefinitely at Broadmoor Top Security Hospital, where he's been since 1995. At last, Colin Stagg received an apology from the Metropolitan Police.
It is clear that he is completely innocent of any involvement in that case. And I today apologise to him for the mistakes that were made in the early 1990s.
It took 16 years for Rachel Nickell's killer to be brought to justice. If the initial investigation into her death hadn't focused on Colin Stagg, could Robert Napper have been caught before he killed Samantha and Jasmine Bissett?
Mr. Justice Ognall said that Paul Britton was pulling the strings. He said that this operation was sustained in constant consultation with the psychologist, the policewoman was acting under orders, and the police in their turn were being guided by the psychologist.
The judge can only be guided by whatever paperwork the judge had, and it's not for me to make criticisms of the judge beyond saying it's not correct.
Today, Paul Britton is a university lecturer. Colin Stagg has since received £700,000 in compensation. Lizzie James, the undercover officer, received £125,000 in an out-of-court settlement after complaining her career had been ruined by the case. Officers from the original investigation declined to take part in this program. Andre has dedicated the last 17 years to rebuilding his and his son's lives.
What sort of lad has he grown into?
He's a lovely boy, but if you ask any father that, they're only going to say the same. And I think that's where my greatest satisfaction comes as far as Alex is concerned. That in many ways his life was written off. He was, the headline said, tragic tot, blighted life. This was what was expected for him. And that we've been able to turn that around, that by believing that things can be better, and that we made things different.
Are you proud of what you've done for your son?
I'm relieved and grateful to have been able to have got through and to have achieved what I set out to achieve. I'm very proud of him, and I'm beginning to feel proud of myself.
Do you talk about Rachel much with him?
I've always tried to keep it as natural, the conversations as natural as possible, that her presence is as important now as it was before, and then it become a question of taboo difficult subject. So yeah, she gets mentioned regularly.
And just finally, what's your abiding memory of Rachel?
I left the best questions to last. Her smile. Her smile. She had a wonderful smile, and the smile was full of intelligence and good humour. It was a smile that was very difficult to forget.
Real Crime is taking a look at the problems the police faced and how a chance incident led to the killer's arrest. Sally Ann Bowman, Murder on the Doorstep, is next Monday at 9.